This is our first 392 Hemi we just got in for Jesse Green, putting it in the dark. You notice they made a lot of changes on the 392. It's got capacitors on the back here. These little capacitors, there's one on each side, and on 6.1s there's usually just one. This capacitor gives a little bit of extra energy to the starter for starting. Of course, we got our fuel line with a fuel pressure gauge right on. These are the new headers we're doing to have the V-clamp on that don't even use a gasket, so they make a really good coupler like a turbo clamp. They've changed a few things on it compared to the 6.1. This is our self-contained power steering. Notice we got the hard line here. This is your pressure, and this is your return. But it's all self-contained power steering. We've got the factory compressor on it, but we have to use the GM pump for the reason being for the high pressure of the Chrysler pump, and we need on Ford racks and GM stuff. In early Chrysler, we have to use a GM pump. It's only like 950 psi. And they made a few changes here. Of course, this is the pressure to the heater. This is your coolant temp sensor, and this does stick out about 3/8 of an inch further than the 6.1s did. But when you get ready to do your gauges, you can, there's a plug right here that we have an adapter. You can put your coolant temp sensor there. Right here behind the water neck, notice that we've got the cam sensor sitting right in here now. And then way down in below, still in the same place like the 6.1s and 5.7, you can see the oil pressure. They did go to the new Mopar alternators that have a clutch on it, so the clutch actually slips a little bit when you first crank the engine up. And then of course this is the PVC system, and then down here the crank sensor still in the same place, and up here is the knock sensor still in the same place. And there is place here for oil temperature, and you can take this out and put your oil pressure center unit for your other gauges. And they did change the oil filter to where it leans forward like a 4x4. Of course, this pan's going to create a lot of problems with the front sump, but we have a pan to replace that. But this will be getting it on the dyno pretty soon, doing some running. But this motor makes like 480 horse. We'll see with headers and a little tune on it how much horsepower we can really pick up. Stay tuned for some new exciting stuff from Street Performance at www.hotrodlane.cc.